The most powerful move you will ever make is the one nobody sees coming. That one truth sets the tone for everything you are about to hear. In today's world, most people are busy talking about their goals, talking about their progress, talking about success they have not earned yet. But talking does not build anything. It is the silent work that does. That is what this audiobook is about. Never tell people what you do. Focus in silence. Win in public. You do not need to announce your plans. You do not need to prove anything. You just need to commit quietly. You need to show up every day, get better every day, and trust that the results will speak when it is time. This book will teach you how to stay focused, how to protect your energy, how to stop performing and start producing. If you are serious about building real success, this is where you start. Quietly, consistently, and without saying a single word. Chapter 1. Close your mouth and get serious about your life. Close your mouth and get serious about your life. That is where everything starts. It is not about talking. It is about doing. It is not about explaining your plans to people who are not living your life. It is about waking up one morning and deciding you have had enough of the nonsense. You have had enough of wasting time, of talking without action, of pretending things are okay when they are not. That decision, that quiet decision inside your own mind, that is what changes everything. You do not need permission. You do not need approval. You do not need applause. You need focus. You need a real personal conversation with yourself that says, I am not going to play small anymore. I am not going to delay anymore. I am not going to look for shortcuts. I am going to work. Most people spend more time talking about what they are going to do than actually doing it. They will post about their goals, they will talk about their plans, but they never build anything. Do you know why? Because talking is easy. Talking makes you feel like you have made progress even when you haven't. It gives you a quick hit of confidence, but it does not give you results. Real progress starts when you go quiet. When you decide to stop sharing everything and start fixing everything. When you start waking up earlier. When you stop wasting time with people who don't care where you are going. When you delete distractions and get to work. That is the beginning of something real. You do not owe anyone a single explanation about your goals. Not your friends, not your neighbors, not even your family. This is your life, and if you want to change it, you have to start acting like it matters. Most people will not understand your hunger. Most people will not understand your silence. That's fine. They don't have to. You are not building your life to make sense to others. You are building your life to become who you know you are meant to be. And that version of you, the one you dream about, the one you have kept locked up for years, the one you talk to late at night, that version does not need attention. It needs action. You can keep talking about change, or you can change. You can keep explaining, or you can evolve. The world does not need to hear about your intentions. It needs to witness your transformation. There is a power in silence, a kind of strength that grows when nobody is looking. You get serious about your life when you stop chasing validation, when you stop needing someone to agree with you, when you stop updating everyone about your every move. You do not grow by telling. You grow by doing. Start asking yourself some real questions. Are you using your time wisely? Are you making the best use of your mornings? Are you training your body? Are you strengthening your mind? Are you learning new skills? Or are you just moving through each day, scrolling, talking, and wishing? If you want to make a real change, start by cutting the noise. Stop trying to impress people who aren't even doing anything with their own lives. Stop trying to explain yourself to people who don't even understand the meaning of growth. That is a trap. Every time you talk instead of act, you trade your power for comfort. And every time you trade action for comfort, you stay stuck in the same place. Take your goals seriously. Take your time seriously. Take your future seriously. Because if you don't, nobody else will. You want to be respected? Then build something worth respecting. You want people to take you seriously? Then take yourself seriously first. You do not need to announce your plans. You just need to get to work. Show up day after day. Improve your habits. Keep your room clean. Build your discipline. Stop skipping the work. Nobody sees it now, but one day they will wonder how you did it. And the answer will be simple. You shut your mouth and you got serious. You stopped needing others to clap for you. You stopped waiting for the perfect moment. You stopped explaining every step. You just started walking. You learned to enjoy the quiet. You made peace with being misunderstood. And you used that silence to build something that speaks for itself. There is something powerful about someone who doesn't need to talk. Someone who walks into a room and their presence says everything. That is who you can become. But you have to want it bad enough. You have to be tired of being average, tired of feeling behind, tired of the same routine with no progress. You have to be willing to make the hard choices. You have to decide that your future matters more than temporary comfort. Most people are busy being loud about nothing. Be quiet and build something. Build discipline. Build your health. Build your knowledge. Build your craft. Build the kind of life that makes people look at you and wonder, how did they do it? And you won't need to say a word, because your results will answer for you. You want to win in public? Then you need to fight in private. You need to do the work that nobody sees. You need to master the things that don't get likes. You need to put your head down and grind every single day without skipping, without complaining, without waiting. Because this is your life, and no one is coming to save you. No one is going to hand you a better future. You have to earn it with effort, with focus, with consistency. It's not glamorous, it's not easy, but it's real, and it works. You have a choice. Keep talking about what you are going to do, or shut your mouth and do it. One path leads to excuses, the other leads to results. So close your mouth. Get serious. Stay quiet. Stay hungry. And build something that cannot be ignored. That's how you focus in silence. That's how you win in public. Chapter 2. Work quietly on your goals every single day. Work quietly on your goals every single day. That is the mindset of someone who is ready to turn their life around. It doesn't sound exciting. It doesn't sound flashy, but it works. Real progress always starts the moment you stop waiting for motivation and start showing up with discipline. Not once a week, not when it's convenient. Every day. Quietly. Consistently. Without making a show out of it. The problem is that too many people want results, but they don't want to do the boring work that brings results. They want to be seen working hard, but they don't want to actually do the work when no one is watching. That is why they stay stuck. That is why they keep starting over. That is why they keep looking for magic answers. But the real answer is this. Be consistent when it's not exciting. Keep showing up even when nobody is clapping. That's where real progress begins. If you are serious about your future, then you've got to treat your goals like they matter every single day. Not just when you feel good, not just when you're motivated. Every day. Because life doesn't reward people who work once in a while. It rewards those who put in the time. Even when it's uncomfortable. Even when it's slow. Even when it feels like nothing is happening. Those are the people who end up far ahead. You've got to build a rhythm that works for you. Not someone else's routine. Not what looks good online. You've got to find.
Chapter 3. Stop proving and start doing what really matters. Stop proving and start doing what really matters. That is the point where life begins to change. Not when you convince people, not when you impress people, but when you decide you do not need their approval anymore. Most people waste too much energy trying to be liked, trying to be understood, trying to be accepted. But none of that moves your life forward. None of that builds your future. The truth is, you do not need to prove anything to anyone. You need to make progress. Quiet, steady, personal progress. That is what matters. Trying to prove yourself keeps you in a cycle of seeking permission. You explain, you post, you update, you chase recognition. But here's what really happens. You slow down. You lose focus. You forget why you started, because now you're not doing it for your growth, you're doing it to be noticed. And that is where the downfall begins. When you care more about being seen than becoming better, you trade progress for performance. That is how people get stuck. You do not need to announce every step you take. You do not need to be right in every conversation. You do not need to be understood by everyone. That is not the goal. The goal is to improve, to evolve, to fix what is broken inside, to face your own weaknesses and do something about them. That does not require noise. It requires action. It requires honesty. It requires you to stop pretending and start working. The world is full of people who talk a lot, but do very little. They dress the part, they speak the part, but nothing in their life changes. That is because they are focused on image, not growth. They are addicted to looking like they're winning instead of doing the work that actually builds a win. If you want something better for yourself, stop following that pattern. Stop trying to be impressive. Start trying to be real. Start trying to be effective. Doing what really matters means cutting through the distractions. It means getting serious about your time. It means you look at your daily habits and ask, are these helping me get where I want to go? And if the answer is no, you change them. Not tomorrow, not when it's easy, now. Because your life is not going to wait. Your goals are not going to build themselves. You either do the work or you don't. People spend years trying to earn the respect of people who don't even know what they want in life. They base their choices on how it looks instead of what actually works. They avoid doing the hard things because the hard things don't come with instant praise. But here's the truth. What really matters rarely looks exciting. It looks like early mornings. It looks like cutting out comfort. It looks like sacrificing now to live better later. And, most of all, It looks like saying no to things that waste your time, even when those things are popular. Doing what really matters requires clarity. You cannot chase everything and expect to make progress. You've got to define what's important. You've got to know what your priorities are. And once you know, you protect them. You don't compromise. You don't make excuses. You don't wait for others to support you. You build your own reasons. You stay focused even when others don't understand. That's how serious people live. When you stop proving, you free yourself. You stop needing the world's permission. You stop waiting for applause. And you start making decisions based on your own standard. That's where real strength comes from. When you can stand alone, when you can show up without a crowd, when you can push forward even when no one claps for you. That's growth. That's maturity. That's leadership. Some people won't understand your choices. Some will doubt you. Some will think you've changed. And they're right. You have. Because staying the same means staying stuck. Growth means doing things differently. It means walking away from habits that don't serve you. It means focusing more on results than reactions. And it means being okay with being misunderstood. Because you're building something deeper than what people can see on the surface. You owe it to yourself to take your life seriously. Not in a way that is rigid or cold, but in a way that is clear and intentional. Your days matter. Your energy matters. Your purpose matters. And when you stop trying to prove that to others, you finally have the space to prove it to yourself. You prove it by how you show up. You prove it by how you handle setbacks. You prove it by how you keep your word to yourself even when nobody's watching. What really matters is not how many people approve of your effort. What matters is the life you build because of your effort. The inner peace you earn from showing up every day. The confidence you develop from doing what is hard and not quitting. The strength that comes from knowing you don't need to explain your path. You just need to walk it. And make no mistake, walking that path is not always easy. You will have doubts. You will have days when nothing makes sense. You will feel like giving up. You will wonder if it's worth it. But if you stay committed to doing what matters, the answer will always be yes. Because the results that come from that kind of effort are solid. They last. They change you from the inside out. You are not here to perform for people. You are not here to get likes or validation. You are here to become who you were meant to be. And that version of you, the one with strength, with discipline, with clarity, that version doesn't need to prove anything. That version simply lives the truth. So stop talking about your vision and start building it. Stop chasing attention and start chasing progress. Stop trying to impress and start trying to improve. And do it for you, not for show, not for status, for growth, for peace, for real, lasting change. You look back one day and realize the greatest shift in your life didn't happen when someone finally believed in you. It happened when you stopped needing them to. When you got up, focused on what mattered, and followed through day by day, quietly, honestly, without needing to be seen. That's when everything started to change. That's when you stopped proving and started living. Chapter 6. Improve yourself in silence and trust your pace. Improve yourself in silence and trust your pace. That is how lasting change is built. Not in the noise, not in the race, but in the quiet, steady process of getting better on your own terms. It is not about being faster than someone else. It is not about comparing timelines. It is about learning to move with intention, not pressure. To get better because you have decided you are worth more than where you are right now, not because you need to be seen doing it. The world moves fast. Everywhere you look, people are showing their progress, showing their routines, showing their results. And if you are not careful, you start to feel like you are behind. But behind what? Whose clock are you living on? Who told you that you had to catch up? The truth is, nobody's path is the same. And the only timeline that matters is your own. But you only understand that when you step away from the pressure to prove yourself, when you decide to grow quietly, without asking for permission or validation. Silence protects your process. It gives you room to breathe, to reflect, to work without the pressure of expectations. It lets you make mistakes without feeling like you failed in front of an audience. And that is important, because growth is messy. Some days feel strong, other days feel uncertain. But all of it counts. And when you give yourself the space to experience it without needing to broadcast it, you begin to develop a deeper kind of strength, one that does not need approval to keep going. Improving in silence does not mean you don't care. It means you care enough to stay focused. It means you're not chasing noise. You're not looking for claps. You're building something real. And real progress takes time. It takes patience. It takes the kind of effort that nobody else will see. But you will feel it. In your focus, in your choices, and how you start showing up differently. You grow when you stop rushing. When you stop comparing your start to someone else's middle. When you stop trying to force the outcome and start trusting the process. There's a rhythm to your life. Find it. Follow it. Don't fight it. There is no price for being the fastest, but there is peace in being the most grounded. There is power in showing up for yourself at your own pace and knowing that consistency is what gets you there, not speed. Trusting your pace means respecting where you are right now. It means not beating yourself up for not being further along. It means recognizing your wins, even the small ones, because they matter. Every new habit you stick with, every day you don't quit, every time you keep going without needing to talk about it, that's growth. That's improvement. That is what builds a foundation that doesn't crack when things get tough. Most people fall apart not because they're weak, but because they try to force change too fast. They want transformation overnight. They want results in a week. And when that doesn't happen, they lose hope. But the ones who win, they are the ones who don't rush. They're the ones who put in the work day after day and let the results come when they are ready. They don't need to prove anything. They just keep going. Quietly. Patiently. Relentlessly. It's easy to want progress fast, but what you built fast often falls apart just as quickly. Take your time. Build slow if you have to. What matters is that you don't stop.
What matters is that every day you are doing something to move forward, even if it's small, even if it doesn't look like much from the outside. You know what it means. You know how hard it is, and that's enough. Improving in silence gives you control. You are not waiting for someone to notice before you feel motivated. You're not basing your self-worth on how much attention you get. You're doing the work because it's part of who you are becoming. You are doing it because it matters to you. That is the kind of growth that sticks. That is the kind of growth that cannot be taken away. Some days you'll feel slow. Some days you'll feel like nothing is changing. But it is. Every day you show up and choose effort over comfort, something shifts. You are becoming more patient, more focused, more capable. But you won't always see it right away. That's why you need to trust your pace. Believe in what you are building, even when it's quiet, especially when it's quiet. You don't owe the world updates. You don't need to explain why you're changing. Just keep going. The ones who are meant to notice will. But by then, you won't need their approval because you'll have built something far more valuable. Self-respect. And that only comes from doing the work when it's invisible, when it's uncomfortable, and when nobody else is cheering you on. If you were waiting for the perfect moment to go all in, stop. The perfect moment is now. Start where you are, use what you have, move at your own speed, and do it quietly. Not because you're hiding, but because you're focused. Because you know that what you are building doesn't need to be shouted about. It needs to be done. You will know you are improving when your actions become habits. When you no longer need to talk yourself into doing the right thing, you just do it. When skipping your routine feels off. When discipline starts to feel like you're normal. That shift doesn't happen in a rush. It happens in silence. Over time. With effort. With repetition. And if you fall off, get back up quietly. No need to make a big deal out of it. No need to start over with a new announcement. Just return to your rhythm. Return to your pace. One step at a time. That's all it takes. There is something powerful about someone who doesn't need to be seen to stay consistent. Someone who doesn't depend on applause. Someone who can keep working through doubt, through boredom, through hard days. That's not weakness. That's resilience. And it's built through silent effort, day after day. Your journey is yours. You set the tone. You decide the pace. You choose how it looks, how it feels, and how it unfolds. So choose patience. Choose privacy. Choose persistence. Keep improving, and trust that every step, no matter how quiet or small, is leading you somewhere better. Not fast, not loud, but real. Chapter 7. Stay focused on your path and ignore opinions. That is the mindset that protects your peace, sharpens your clarity, and gets you where you truly want to go. You can't walk forward while constantly turning your head. You can't build something meaningful while giving your attention to every voice around you. The world is full of noise. People will always have something to say, Some will question you. Some will doubt you. Some will not understand you at all. That's okay. It's not your job to convince them. It's your job to stay locked in on your purpose. When you decide to take your life seriously, you will feel resistance. Not just from within, but from the people around you. Some will try to pull you back. Some will joke about your discipline. Some will give you advice based on their own fears, not your vision. If you're not careful, you'll start adjusting your pace just to make others comfortable. You'll start second-guessing your choices. You'll start looking for reassurance.